A Quiet Place Day 1 is the third entry in the Quiet Place universe and serves as both a prequel and spin-off. Sam, a terminally ill cancer patient, is stuck in Manhattan as aliens attack Earth. The aliens are blind but have ultrasonic hearing, so our heroes have to shut the fuck up in order to escape and survive. The funny thing is, guys, I just told you the brief synopsis of the plot, but I actually didn't know what the plot was going in. Because trailers often spoil their films, I didn't watch the trailer to A Quiet Place Day 1, nor did I look up the plot. I didn't need to. Based on the title alone, I knew I was going to see this film. 1, I'm a fan of the first 2 films, and 2, the title, Day 1, told me that this whole film was going to be just like that incredible flashback scene in A Quiet Place 2, but stretched into an entire film. Sign me up. That flashback scene was my favorite part of those first 2 films because I could see myself in the characters. They were like me, living their normal lives, but then they have to adapt to this new hell. It made me live vicariously through them and wonder how I'd adapt if I could. It was fantastic. An entire movie based around that concept sounded fantastic, so I rushed to see this. And I'm sad to say that I'm pretty disappointed. Let's start with the good. Because I avoided all of the marketing, I was pleasantly surprised to discover that Lupita Nyong'o was the lead. I adore her. I'm glad she won the Oscar for 12 Years a Slave, but she should have at least been nominated for a performance in Us. She blew me away in that film. Well, Nyong'o brings her talent here. You can tell that her character Sam is carrying a lot of baggage, and Nyong'o perfectly translates that pain to the big screen. Love it. The setup when the aliens attack is awesome. You already knew that these aliens were deadly, but when you see just how easily they traverse the skyscrapers of Manhattan, you truly get a sense of what they're capable of. Like, no wonder they managed to wipe out an entire city. And the cinematography looks great. Manhattan looks so barren, and when these aliens are traveling all over the place causing chaos, it just looks fantastic. You never could have guessed that this is the director's second film after Pig. Mad talent. I just wish we didn't miss some of the setup. Instead of seeing Sam adjust to the aliens attacking, she gets knocked out and wakes up after a load of the carnage. Plus, some of the characters do stupid things and endanger themselves. It's so tropey. And as adorable as the cat was, I don't think it was needed. But the rest of the film exudes pure tension and it never lets up. Even when the characters reach safety, you still feel nervous. The safety is just a house of cards that will collapse with the slightest cough, sneeze, or creaky floorboard. It's wonderful. And just like the previous films, there's not that much dialogue here. It's not only ballsy to do that, but it also means that the actors and actresses have the burden of expressing pure trauma without much dialogue. That's not an easy thing to do, and yet these guys make it look so easy. It's great. The problem is, notice that most of these praises sound like I'm describing the first 2 films. That's because Day 1 doesn't stand out much by itself. We don't learn anything new about the aliens, nor do they do anything new. It's just a new environment with new characters. And sadly, the characters aren't that deep. The lack of dialogue means we don't get to learn much about them or their backstories. They also don't have that much chemistry, especially compared to the wonderful family dynamic in the first 2 films. Now, I get that our heroes are strangers here, they're not a family, but that doesn't mean they should lack chemistry. They also adjusted to this crazy situation quite quickly when I think about it. They don't even say much, like, "Holy shit, aliens are attacking us." Nothing, it's weird. It got to the point where 30 minutes or so had passed, and I felt like nothing had really changed. We just had more set pieces with aliens. And I won't lie, it did kind of lose my interest at times. Things do pick up toward the end of the film. There is this wonderful bar scene that feels very human, but then it leads to an ending that I thought was just okay. In the end, A Quiet Place Day 1 is an okay time at the cinema. It's very intense and has some wonderful set pieces. Most of what you love about the franchise is here, but for me, it doesn't give you much more than that. It just gives you the same thing but in a different environment and new characters that lack much development or chemistry. It doesn't do enough differently to warrant being an entire film. I think this would have been much better as a short film. And I'm not just disappointed because I'm comparing it to the first two films. Even by itself, I think the plot and characters are just too thin, and it breaks my heart to say that. But it's still totally watchable, and definitely worth seeking out if you're a fan of the franchise. I myself will be buying this on 4K Blu-ray when it comes out, because it does look fantastic and complements the first two films. I just expected a lot more depth. I was absolutely positive this would be one of my top 10 favorite films of 2024, but there is no way that's going to be happening now. I'm going to give A Quiet Place Day 1 a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay jiggy. The badger appreciates ya.